What is happening? It is Wednesday, May 14th, 2025. Tanner, Drew, and Laura, we are live.
Ow.
Yeah. Oh.
Wow.
Later on today, we've got more tickets to go see Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace. 105.9 The Brew presents Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace. I have to remember to say that because that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Bringing that show to town. Also, Casey will remind me. Beefwater. Dude, I worked hard on that.
Come on, man.
Mention it.
Read the first line.
But yes, 105.9 The Brew presents Breaking Benjamin. 3 Days Grace. I know he's happy now, sitting there in the shower with his gross toes.
Yeah, there's no happiness in that.
But yeah, we'll have tickets at 7:30 this morning, so make sure you're listening for that. Also, we've got your shot at $1,000 every hour. We've got to talk about the big news from yesterday, finding out that the Blazers have officially gone up for sale. We actually found out yesterday during the Donkey Show podcast.
Yeah.
So the moment, like Laura goes, we're right in the middle of something, like talking about on some of the Donkey Show.
To be fair, it wasn't important. We were talking about Sammy Kershaw music.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Okay.
No, that's not true. Marcus was right in the middle of a big story, wasn't he?
About Sammy Kershaw.
Well, that was an element of his story.
But I remember that, like, we're just sitting there listening, and all of a sudden Laura goes, and like she's looking at her phone, and that makes me panic because I'm thinking, did we get an email that we're let go? Is there a terrorist attack? You know, did the earth open up? And
at the very least, we're in trouble. You know, it's the troubling.
Yeah, and then she goes, check your email, guys, and that makes my stomach sink even more. Like,
because
what do you mean check my email?
If it's in our email, then it's like, then it has to do with us.
They're not going to fire us via email.
Well, you never know.
And there's so many things that go through my head. Who knows?
The subject line, pack up your things.
Yeah, get your S.
It's a momentary panic, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we see the email the official statement that the Blazers released, and we just kind of sat there for a second and took it all in. Because we couldn't believe what happened. And, my first initial thought was we can't lose the Blazers, but that's like the worst case scenario. That's not likely to happen.
Yeah, but it is...
it's a scenario.
It is definitely a scenario, and it doesn't have me panicked, but it has...
It's concerning.
Me, slightly concerned.
Yeah, a little puckered up.
Yeah, it's worth discussing, and that's kind of what's emerging this morning. Who are the suitors and where are they?
So we'll talk more about it later. I think we're going to have Chad Doing on from our sister station, Rip City Radio, 620 AM, to discuss the drama. And yeah, it's wild. Drew will have more in a sports report here in a few minutes. But it is a crazy story.
Yeah, it is. The whole thing has got people concerned, but it also has a lot of hype behind this whole thing if it ends up staying here with someone who wants to win now.
Well, in the meantime, let's do this.
Let's get it on. And now, the big story.
It's where we go around the room sharing what we think the biggest stories of the day are. And Drew, I think you got more on what I think is the biggest story of the day right now.
I do. Ron Wyden, if it means anything, the Oregon senator, says that the Portland Trail Blazers need to stay here. Now, that's the sentiment of anyone who's from here or loves it the way that it is. But Paul Allen's directive is to sell it and give it up for philanthropy. But there aren't guidelines necessarily on who to sell it to and whether it has to remain here. You know, so some of those suitors involve Phil Knight, but also there are people like Jeff Bezos who could buy it and would likely take it away.
Yeah.
So, that's the scary thing is how much money do people have who want to play house, and can they steal away our team? But that isn't anything that's
the Silicon Valley computer chips.
Yeah.
I could see it. I mean, Bezos is, building his own city across the lake from Seattle. It's like he could put it up there if he wanted.
So what does it mean to sell it for philanthropy?
Well, so he's going to give the money to charity.
Yeah.
Like whatever they get is going to charity. Now,
interesting.
And I hear the team's valued it. They're asking. So I heard it was like $3.5 billion, but they're going to ask for $4 billion.
Wow.
Okay.
Because $2 billion was the offer from Phil Knight before.
Yeah.
So they're going to crank the price up.
Oh my God.
Well, we'll see what happens, but it's
Yeah,
Bonkers.
that's a lot of money and slightly concerning. But the big news is that written all over our faces.
I think the big story is that, speaking of big money, Governor Tina Kotek recently signed a bipartisan bill allowing Oregon lottery winners to remain anonymous, while also aiming to deter scammers from buying winning tickets for less than value. I didn't realize that was actually something that people do, but occasionally people will sell their winning tickets to somebody else or take them to pawn shops, and then pawn shops will buy them at a discounted price.
Weird.
But the big thing is that the House Bill 3115, which was proposed by Representative John Lively and Kim Wallen, requires the names and addresses of lottery winners to be exempt from public disclosure unless the lottery winner provides written permission. So that's pretty cool. Now your name won't be blasted all over the place if you win a big jackpot. But the law will take effect 91 days after the Oregon legislative session ends in June. So not for another couple of months, but it's coming.
I think the big story of the day is Walgreens is planning to close about 1,200 stores to turn around its struggling U.S. business. And that includes some in California, Florida, New York, Texas, and Oregon. Walgreens did not provide a full list of closing stores, but we do know that Oregon's on the list. It is prepared to transfer prescriptions to other locations for affected customers. Rite Aid is also closing more than 100 locations. That's primarily in California and Pennsylvania, though. That's following its second bankruptcy filing.
I'm wondering when, because I know CVS is kind of adopting the pharmacy-only model. I'm wondering why they don't just shut down the retail portion of their stores and just do prescriptions. Because that's all anyone uses them for the most part anyway, right?
It's wild.
It almost feels like you should just, and this is bad for pharmacies, but at some point there should just be you order it online and then you go pick it up at a locker. That you don't have all of that pomp and circumstance.
I guess, but then what if you have questions about I don't know how many people are actually asking the pharmacist questions.
But they always say you're going to have to talk to the pharmacist first, even though sometimes you don't need to, but I feel like they always want you to. But eventually it's probably just going to be a bot. All right, more on the stories at 1059thebrew.com. While you're there, enter this hour's keyword for your chance at $1,000. The keyword is win. Good luck.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break, or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
1059 The Brew presents Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace. We'll have your tickets coming up in about an hour. I found this mashup last night. This is a mashup nobody needed but exists.
Okay.
I see head shaking in the studio. It's the birds for me.
It's the birds. It's the birds. I don't mind the mashup.
Heavy birds.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's DJ Cumberbund.
Oh, bringing it.
Bringing the heat with Good Riddance and Blackbird. So it exists. It's out there.
It's amazing how easily those two can kind of lay on top of each other.
I saw how he did it. So I was like, how the hell is he doing this? Is he making these people who are dead, sound like they're alive? So what he does is he sings it himself.
Oh, okay.
He gets the instrumental and he sings it himself. And then in AI, it puts the famous voice on top of it.
Oh, okay.
And so
Interesting.
Does he have to sing it like very close?
He just close as he can get.
And then
auto-tune, and then the computer fixes everything else. But yeah, he just I saw him do it, and I was like, that's how. I was so confused on how the hell he's pulling this off.
That's impressive.
So he sings it himself, the dude, and then they just go and fix it later. So.
Oh, wow.
I mean, naturally, it was the computer that did the whole thing. It's like, how did this happen? Computers did. That's fine.
Yeah. And it's most musicians, I feel like, now that I work with music and stuff, I can hear it. I can hear auto-tune on everything.
Yeah.
I can hear little tricks that they do. But
it's all been polished up.
Yeah, it's because our ears are so used to it now, we expect it. So anyway, we'll put that online if you want to check it out, if it was a bop for you, 1059thebrew.com. What do you think the most ordered food in America is?
Like for takeout or just at a restaurant?
I just think in general.
Are we talking DoorDash? Like what's
I think just in general. Just
most ordered food. Is it a hamburger?
It's not a hamburger.
I was going to say French fries.
Not French fries.
Pizza.
Pizza comes in at number 1. 29% of respondents said pizza was their go-to order of choice. Another survey found that 28% order pizza once a week. And about 10% order it more than once a week. 5% of all respondents picked Tex-Mex as their favorite go-to meal.
When it's available, like if you're in a Tex-Mex city,
you gotta have
totally get it.
Yeah, I don't think most people around here are like, yeah, let's do Tex-Mex tonight.
Yeah, we have more just like straight up Mexican food.
Right. There's a lot of Tex-Mex and obviously Texas where I grew up, and so
yeah, and like Arizona, you get some Tex-Mex, which is funny, or not even
so many good places.
Well, I mean, in Portland too. I mean, we do food well, and I feel like the one food we don't do well is Mexican food.
I don't know.
There's not.
I kind of agree there. There's not a lot of really
authentic Mexican food.
Yeah, and there's a couple of hole in the wall fast food places that I like Super Burrito in Milwaukee's my spot.
Yeah,
you gotta go into like the ones that have a store connected to it or whatever.
Yeah.
They'll make you some real Mexican food in there.
Yeah, but I do feel like there could be more.
Yeah, I would always love a little bit more, but.
Once Chevy's shut down, it all went. It all started falling apart.
Yeah, the linchpin of the entire thing.
Actually, the Chevys in Lake Oswego or whatever, it's right off I-5. It turned into something else. It's some other family Mexican restaurant.
Si Senor.
Si Senor.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of another one. There's another restaurant,
and they're offended by your Mexican food comments.
I'm sure they are. That's fine. They can be offended. Isn't there a place called like Margaritas or something like that? It's like right over, like off Hall Boulevard.
That sounds good. Where's the best Mexican food in Portland? Maybe people can help us with that.
And not like Americanized Mexican
We're talking
food,
like a
Mexican food.
Authentic.
Yeah.
All right. Shoot us a text message at 98197 or talk back on our McLaughlin Chevrolet. I have those flipped. Whatever. You get it. Just send us a message. Tell us where.
There's all kinds of ways to get a hold of us.
Yeah. This is kind of wild. I think it's fair. Selma Hayek reacts to landing the Sports Illustrated swimsuit cover at 58 years old.
Wow.
Whoa.
I mean, she's, I think, smoking still.
Selma Hayek, she has MS, right? Is she the one with MS?
I'm not sure, does she?
She walks with a cane.
No, that's the girl from Anchorman.
No. It's also, because she does too, but.
So Selma Hayek might have something? Does Selma Hayek
Oh no, she does not. Who
Okay.
am I thinking? No, but who am I thinking of?
She's having the biggest moment of her life, and you're like, yeah, she barely got up there.
No, but oh man, now it's really gonna bother me. It's not Christina Applegate.
It might be you. I
I'll
think you
figure
might
it
have.
out. I might have MS.
Well,
That's true.
58 years old
pretty
that's you put in work.
I think she's always looked great, but still at 58 years old. But they put her on the cover of Sports Illustrated, which which is great because this day and age they always do like they pick the young girls and you're too old for Hollywood and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's right. And they do that at like 30.
Yeah, right. But at 58, she's still I don't want to say banging, but
She's banging.
She's banging.
I mean, that's okay. You could say it.
all right. Here she is.
I remember when I was young and hot.
You're still hot.
I used to look at this magazine and I wanted to see who was the new gorgeous model, the new girl of the moment. And it never crossed my mind that I could be in that court because they didn't look like me. My body is not necessarily the model type, and I never thought that was a possibility. And for it to happen when I'm 58, I mean, it's really shocking.
I love her voice. Oh, God, I love it.
Yeah.
By the way, I was thinking of Selma Blair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you got
One of the
the Selma
Yeah.
going.
There you go. Well, that's there it is. 58 years old. She's on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I will be picking that up.
Can't wait.
Because,
Damn, son.
Damn, yeah, you're right.
Truly.
You can
Smoke
only hope that at 58 you're still crack-a-lack-and part of that.
There's a movie
I don't.
There's a movie I feel like she's topless, and I gotta figure that out.
She's in some staples from back in the day. She's
Ask,
Dust Till Dawn.
Mr. Skin or whatever
Get
he'd
him on
know.
the phone. All right, we'll have your shot at Breaking Benjamin in 3 days. Grace tickets coming up. Also, Drew's going to talk about the Blazers sell and sports next. Hang on.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Here's Drew.
Well, everybody knows now that the Trailblazers are up for sale, but who's going to buy them? Now, everybody, including myself around here, is screaming one name, Phil Knight, over and over yesterday, hoping that the Nike co-founder could save us from any extra drama and maybe get this whole thing taken care of. Well, there's a report on Bloomberg this morning that says that Phil Knight may no longer be interested. Now, he offered $2 billion in 2022, but now, as you were saying earlier, Tanner, that number is ballooned to double that. So what's a guy to do? Well, Phil Knight, a lot of people, including myself, didn't realize he's 87.
Damn.
Oh. Yeah, he is not a young man anymore. Great guy. He could be the savior, but I don't know if I would want to purchase a team at his age or if I'd want to relax and go watch my Ducks. But I don't want to talk the guy out of anything. We could use him. Now, it is the worst kept secret that there are 2 new teams that are going to be added in expansion to the league soon, and the owners are going to approve this. One to Las Vegas, one to Seattle. It makes total sense. It rounds out the numbers. Why would you shake that up by letting somebody buy the Trailblazers and run them out of town? I don't see that happening, but it is a possibility, and if Phil's not going to save us, who is? Still going to keep you posted. Go Blazers. There's your sports.
Thank you much. All right, you've got a few more minutes left to get this hour's keyword in and score $1,000 from the Cash Squatch. And $1,000 you get paid, I think, tomorrow. But just think about putting an extra grand on that paycheck.
That'd be nice.
Nice little cushion for you. The keyword is win. W-I-N. The reason I spell it is you'd be surprised.
Having a hard time.
W-Y-N-E?
W-I-N. All right, 1059thebrew.com. That's the website. Once you get there, a box will pop up. Type in the keyword, and you could get a call back with the cash.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Bing bong.
Bing bing.
Good morning.
Bing bong.
Oh, yeah, a little late there. It's 105.9 The Brew. Tanner, Drew, and Laura. Happy Wednesday. Happy bing bong to you.
That's right.
Bing bing.
I don't think people say that, but we're going to try to get it going.
I've heard it.
Gang gang.
So we were asking earlier this morning, what's the best Mexican restaurant in Portland? Because Laura and I were thinking that there's not a lot of great ones, like true authentic Mexican food.
Right.
But maybe there's some gems that we just don't know about. Because there are so many restaurants in the city.
True.
Yeah, we flex a big restaurant muscle around here.
4629 says King Torta in North Plains. Get yourself the beef tongue. It tastes like the best roast beef you'll ever eat.
Lengua.
You wanted authentic, Laura? Have the tongue.
I've actually had tongue tacos before, and they are pretty good.
I've
I
had
love
them.
a torta.
I'd rather have just a standard beef taco, but I have had the
I'll
tongue.
Just take some carne asada, please.
Fat Thor says, are you guys crazy? I'm not giving up my authentic Mexican spot on the radio. DoorDash has ruined so many places for me. I'll tell you privately.
Okay.
Fair enough.
And I feel like he's a wanderer who likes to find little spots that no one knows about.
3049 says 16th and Killingsworth, there's a taco machine food truck. It's the best. This one says La Carreta in Gresham. I'm probably not saying that right.
La Carreta?
I mean, the burrito tacos at El Jefe up the street here next to Mike's Drive-In on Highway 99.
Yeah.
That's
got some
pretty
good
good stuff. You could go get lost in there. You can even get like a quarter chicken.
9897 says they're closed now, but the original taco house on Powell always have the best Mexican food.
Well, how am I supposed to go there when they're closed?
8846 is Javier's on Lombard or Roberto's in Milwaukee. 2595 says muchas gracias.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, that's always an option. There's also a good place with birria. I think it's called Papa Chiles. It's on Williams, North Williams. And they do pretty good
All sounds
birria,
delicious.
but now I'm just hungry.
Yeah, no, I'll check some of these places out. Now I have to. I'm going to be forced to get some fajitas tonight.
Too bad there's no Mo Cheese Mo Mouse for Laura to try.
What's that?
It's
It's an old
chain.
classic tasteless tacos at Mo Cheese Mo
Okay.
Mouse.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, you're going to need some money, whether you want burritos or just some regular groceries. Whatever you want, you're going to need some cash to do it. We've got your shot at $1,000 right now.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there.
Hey, when you get a chance, you got to check out yesterday's Donkey Show podcast. It's online at 1059thebrew.com. Just click on Tanner, Drew, and Laura. We actually find out in real time that the Blazers are up for sale. We're talking about something with our friend Buster Ass Marcus, and then Laura just goes,
yeah.
We hear this gasp, and we both turn our heads, Drew and we're like, what?
I remember I did that too when, and I was pretty new here, when the Queen died, and you guys got really mad at me. You're like, thanks for throwing off the entire Donkey Show. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Well, I think
it just scares me with the way your reaction
is worthy of that breath. It's just it's unexpected when it comes. I mean, both those stories are interruptible. But I didn't see that news coming right there.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Even though that was the news was. I guess for some people, okay, so Paul Allen, that was kind of like when he died, his thing. He wanted eventually the teams to be sold. So we knew it was eventually going to come, right?
Yeah.
It just wasn't, that wasn't on my bingo card for yesterday.
Right.
Exactly. Now, a lot of people felt like the team was in cruise control, that because it was being run by his sister and the estate and the shareholders, that there wasn't, that figurehead, that person pushing the franchise in a winning direction. Now, whether that's true or not that's up for debate on some long sports show. But I do feel that this is momentum that appeared out of nowhere yesterday, because we knew it would happen. It's like looking at a mountainside that there will be a rock slide one day, but just not today.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people were pretty excited about the news. Like, good. This is good for the Blazers to get new management. But not everyone's excited.
Hey, Brew Crew, Fat Thor here, just touching base on the Blazers for sale. I don't know if this is a good thing. A lot of people are happy about it, saying we're going to get new management. But that also means Las Vegas could buy us, and then the team would get moved to Vegas. And then think about everyone that got a Trailblazer tattoo. They'd have to change it to a Vegas Trailblazer tattoo. Ugh, I am just not happy. The city needs to buy the team, 100%. Let's go, Portland. Let's get some money going for our guys.
Oh man,
So
that's
there's
a
Fat Thor.
tall order to, squeeze $4 billion out of the city.
Now we thought yesterday, okay, well, Phil Knight, Uncle Phil. Big Uncle Phil will step up and help us buy this team. But I'm reading right now, and we learned in Drew Sports today that this is from Bloomberg. Nike's Phil Knight no longer interested in buying the Portland Trailblazers.
Do you think that has more to do with his age or more to do with the additional $2 billion?
It's got to be both.
A little bit of both, yeah, right?
You can't bury him with the $30 billion he already has, though. I mean, he owns Nike. If he wanted it, it would be his. But at the same time, at 87, how long are you in the hot seat? It's a big price tag for a momentary thing.
Does he not have somebody who he trusts to pass it down?
He's got a big family who, all have worked, around him forever. But I don't know if it's not like the one successor maybe wants to do that either. You kind of have to ask your next of kin if they want that responsibility when you're gone.
Now, I did hear yesterday, I think I was watching Jeff Gianola and his big head talk, and he was saying that the team is valued at about $3.5 billion, but they're going to ask for $4 billion.
Because it's like real estate, Once people are in a bidding war, you don't have to stop the register.
We got Court on the phone. Court, or I guess he's on the mic at his house. You were actually doing your show yesterday when you heard the news.
Yeah, which was shocking. It was shocking and not because we knew it was coming, but it was also kind of shocking because you never expect to see that. So, yeah, I mean, like we talked about before, it had been the discussion had been that they were going to try and sell the team. Phil made his offer, didn't happen, and then it just kind of disappeared. And I think everybody kind of forgot that was an option. And now it's obviously not. It is an option again, and so we got to figure out what's going to who's going to buy this thing? If it's not going to be Phil, who's going to buy it?
And, they were saying it's unlikely that the team could leave the city, but there's that small chance,
Sure.
What do you think? What do you think the chances are that we could lose them?
It's not zero, but it is small. A lot of people are thinking, well, they're just going to move the team to Seattle. And I don't think that's the case because, the commissioner's already been talking about expanding the league and bringing a team to Seattle and to Las Vegas. So those cities are already talking about getting expansions. So they're not going to move Portland to a place where they're just going to expand anyhow. So I don't know where you would move it if you were going to move it, and it makes all the sense in the world just to leave it right where it is. The team's been here for over 50 years. We have a hardcore fan base. It's not like the fan base is not showing up for games. That's when you start moving teams. I
start getting worried about money, because money talks, and these billionaires, they don't really care about our feelings or our passion for this team, And so what if the more money is in Seattle and Vegas, where if only one of those teams is going to get the expansion team, what if they move our team to one of those cities that doesn't get the expansion team?
The rumor is that it's both though. And now, granted, it's not on paper, but it seems like everywhere I look, people keep calling it the worst kept secret in the NBA, that those two spots are going to get teams. And it makes sense if Portland stays, if we can find a local buyer, to have that presence that goes all the way up the west coast of America. Right now, you come out of California and it is darkness outside of a stop in Portland for the NBA. That doesn't represent the country. I think having Las Vegas there and then up to the north, that rounds out the NBA. But that also hopefully takes Bezos out of play because he's the guy who can just be like, I want to build rockets and I want to move basketball teams. And that you can't really stop him.
Yeah.
But at least nobody's
penis
saying,
rockets and basketball.
I haven't heard anybody legitimately say that it could be Elon.
Oh, my God.
He's got too much going on right now.
Vegas Cybertruck.
The last thing he needs to do is come and screw up this team.
Yeah, but that's exactly the type of thing that he would do, don't you think?
Another company, another business I can destroy.
Yeah.
He's like, I found a lot of budget cuts here.
This text from 3049 says Blazers can't be sold until 2030 at least, so let's hope Vegas and Seattle get the expansions first.
Why is it 2030?
I heard that it was going to take a year or two.
Yeah, it said it'll bleed into next season was the initial statement.
But maybe there's some clause that we haven't heard about. I don't know. We'll have to look into that. But.
Well, that would also help give us some time to beg them to stay.
Yeah.
Not that we need to do that. I mean, it's like some people will face it, glass half empty and glass half full on this subject because we don't know for sure.
It's all uncertain. Yeah. The uncertainty is what makes people nervous.
And I don't like it.
The way I see it is that it can happen. Like, it can happen.
I know, but that anything can happen, though.
I know, but...
can you imagine if we lost them? What is a Motor Center going to do? It's just going to sit there and rot.
Yeah, but that's a huge problem for the city of Portland. So, I feel like they can't allow it to happen.
I think it would also destroy our bid for baseball because they would go, no, we're not going to go somewhere where everybody's leaving. So that I think that it's paramount.
Yes, Court.
That's 100% true. And I also think that just the fandom is enough to keep it here because it's a bad look for other teams if your team is not the Lakers or the Celtics or something like that. If you took Portland's team away, it would be a message to every other team out there like, hey, we can move you guys too. And that's a bad look, and that's bad for the NBA.
I so hope you guys are right. But the only thing I worry about is billionaires don't care. These rich people don't care about your feelings or what the city thinks. They think money and dollar signs and profits. And is this team going to be more profitable somewhere else? That's what makes me nervous. Now, is that just some dick coming in and moving it?
That's all true, but also you have the NBA itself. The commissioner is overseeing this, and he has his own interest to look out for, and the organization in general. So,
and to your credit,
billionaires may want to move.
He says that he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't really want to pluck a team out of the city.
Right, yeah, and so he can stop it if he wants to. He can stop it.
If you look at the history of it too, when Seattle got plucked and ended up going to Oklahoma City, it's a stain on the league. And when David Stern was here, he did great things. That was a blemish for him. And if you look at Adam Silver, who's in charge now, He was the deputy commissioner then. He saw it all, and you step out of the way of that train. You don't load it up again to get drilled by it over and over. He's a pretty strong-willed guy, and even beyond him, the rest of the billionaires have to agree, at least the majority of them, in a vote to move anybody. So there are safeguards which help us a little bit, but they're all in place to also move teams.
This text from 9985 says, if Portland lets the Blazers go and then we build an MLB stadium, the fans will protest and not go to the MLB games.
I don't know if that's true, but
I think we would run to it and make, oh, thank God for still.
Yeah, I think the people would go.
But
See how cool this place is.
I don't think they'd build
They just wouldn't
baseball
do it.
diamond though. Yeah.
This one says, Blazers can't leave. I mean, ...
Oh, no.
Yeah, right. I feel like that's the sentiment
Solid
of a lot
argument.
of people right now, though, you know?
98197, it's a McLaughlin Chevrolet text line. You can also shoot us a talkback through our iHeartRadio app if you don't have it for your cell phone. Download it when you get a chance. What do you think about this whole debacle? We'll take your calls in just a few minutes. We also have Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace tickets on the way. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura on The Brew.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Laura's got to take her car to DEQ. $20 says that thing doesn't pass.
No, it'll pass.
$20.
I've gotten all of the issues taken care of. The check engine light is off. It's running.
We need to roll that thing into a lake, Drew, just for like at a bacon and beer or something.
That's not true.
Find a bar near a lake and just roll it into it.
It's time. Eleanor is doing great. She just crossed the 100,000 mile mark.
I'm glad she has the name of a grandmother because it makes sense.
It makes sense.
She's purring like a kitten.
So you got to go get your registration and you got to hit up DEQ and all those fun things.
I'm just glad that I'm done with switching my registration from out of state because that was a nightmare.
Yeah.
But
so you're an official resident now?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, hopefully. If I go back to the DMV and they're like, we've got some problems here. I can't seem to find you here in the system. That's what I imagine happening to me. Mm-hmm. But I
feel like that always happens to me. You just gave me a traumatizing flashback to something.
I know, but I'm going to start the process and hopefully they'll just hand over the stickers.
Yeah, I thought you could do it at like a little kiosk at Fred Meyer now.
Not if you have to go to DEQ.
Well, so
you can do that part, but I mean, it always makes sense to go one hit or quitter, like do the one-stop shop.
Okay.
And I think you can renew online.
And you can just go to the DEQ. But
yeah,
one way or another, I'm team close the DEQ.
Yeah, dude, me too. I
think
new cars, you don't have to do it at all, and sooner or later, it's just going to be irrelevant. Like nobody's going to have to go there.
Going to be phased out, and really.
So let's do that now.
Yeah, let's just shut it down.
Let's just get.
They're not even doing it in other parts of the same state,
which is ridiculous.
Right? They don't even do it in Salem.
Yeah, it's obnoxious.
Or Eugene, right? And
no, not in Eugene either. They don't even have a building.
So what are we doing? What are we doing?
We should just start that petition. Just start the process.
No mo DEQ.
Yeah, how do we get that on the ballot? Huh?
We've got to work on a rhyme. It needs to rhyme, I feel like.
Yeah.
DEQ, not for you.
Not for you.
DEQ.
What is it?
PU-DEQ.
PU-DEQ. Well, it's too many letters.
There's some pieces there. We'll work on it and come back to you. But good luck, Laura. Godspeed on your journey to the DEQ and everything. It's
Thank you. Last time I was there, I was like the only person there. I rolled up and I left.
Oh,
so,
nice.
I mean,
nice,
it was great. So hopefully that'll happen this time as well.
Well, afterwards, maybe you should celebrate and get yourself some ice cream.
All right, I'm sold.
I love some ice cream, and apparently the way you eat it to me reveal a lot about you.
Oh.
Like if you bite it, you're a psychopath?
That's actually...
That's got to be right.
That's close, actually.
Okay.
I am a bit of a biter, but I also lick. And so, yeah, we're going to find out what kind of person you are.
Okay.
And the way you eat your ice cream. Now, I will get ice cream, and I'll just eat it out of the carton, like a lunchbox.
Yeah, I usually get the pint size so that I
so
don't feel like as much as it. No, I mean, I'll still eat the entire thing, but at least it's smaller in my hand.
Yeah, but like when you're
eating like a whole
But if I get a carton,
eat the pint.
Yeah, if I get a carton, I just keep going. But you at least,
But don't you? I feel like you'd be the type of person who would just like set a boundary for yourself. Like you'd only eat like one wall of ice cream, and then you're like, okay.
Okay, in my defense, I do fill up a bowl, but I fill it up big. Like I mean, like I'm doing a lot of scoops, packing it down in there a little bit, and then I add a little bit of chocolate. But that's if I'm at home. If I'm like at like Salt and Straw or something, it might be a little different. Well, apparently, if you are a biter, licker, or nibbler, it will tell you how. What, Laura?
I just don't like that.
You don't like that?
Biter, licker, nibbler.
But the way you do it actually will tell a lot about you, apparently.
Okay.
A new survey of 2,000 adults finds that 63% prefer to lick their ice cream, while 39% bite their scoops. But what does this all mean? That's the question. Well, apparently people who go at it with their teeth and bite their ice cream are quote, more fearless, confident, and impulsive. Biters
obviously don't have fillings in their teeth because ouch.
Yeah, biters are very in the moment. They're probably extroverts and like instant gratification. So I'm a little, I like to bite, but the
biting I never really loved cold, like heavy cold on my teeth. That's the main reason.
It's usually just like if it's big and there's a couple of chunks on top, I'll just bite that off.
If there are chunks, like you have to chew at a certain point.
But if it's really thick ice cream, you kind of got to bite into it.
No,
I feel like I protect my mouth with my tongue and my lips.
Yeah.
Like when I go to a bite, I'm not people who are teeth out, you're the Hannibal Lecter.
So you're just gumming your
That's
ice
me.
cream?
I bite my ice cream.
You can't really gum it. You have to kind of.
My cake.
Yeah. You wrap your lips a little bit. Yeah.
Ice cream.
This is delicious. But just so that I don't catch it right on the teeth.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to bite into it, but I also like to lick. So that they say those who lick their ice cream tend to be more methodical and relaxed as they patiently enjoy their scoop. Lickers prefer delayed gratification, which I do enjoy that. I like to stretch things out a little bit.
I think it depends on the consistency of the ice cream, too. Like, sometimes you got to lick because you're getting a meltdown.
Yeah.
Like on a cone, you got to get into lick mode pretty hard there.
That's something important to consider. Like, are you eating it out of a cup? Are you eating it in a cone?
If it's in a cup, you can just stick it in the roof of your mouth, kind of.
Lickers crave the dopamine hit. It's the brain's reward, and they get it from extending the eating process. That's me. I like to do that. I like to bite and lick.
I feel like the whole thing is the dopamine reward. Whether you're chewing it or licking it, you're just looking for that boom.
But
400 grams of sugar.
As for those who nibble, they're more likely to be cautious, gentle, and thoughtful, but possibly a little controlling at times.
So what is a nibble?
So I guess that's my thing would be considered the nibble.
Yeah.
Nibbles are good emotional self-regulators, though they may be prone to anxiety because their enthusiasm for attention and detail. That sounds like you.
Well, yeah, it sounds about right. Full of anxiety and nibbling on ice cream.
But you handle yourself well. Like I can tell. Like I know you well, so I can tell when you're anxious. But I don't know that other people could tell.
Yeah.
When the ice cream has revealed it.
Yeah.
Finally,
you've got it all figured out here, just based on vanilla and chocolate.
And I will say, I had a little sample of vanilla at Costco the other day, and that's still one of the supreme flavors of ice cream.
You were talking about that. I got to get
vanilla is the finest of the flavor. Isn't that I feel like that's a lyric in a Bare Naked Ladies song or something like that. And vanilla is the finest of the flavors. I agree.
I feel like every kid's trying to get away from vanilla to try something else, only to realize when you're older
vanilla is
the
best.
All right there in front of you.
It's the best the whole time. I'm a Tillamook or Umpqua guy, but if I'm in the South, Bluebell. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. Good morning, Chris.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's happening, bro?
Hey, so the whole ice cream thing, I'm definitely a licker, but as weird as that sounds, but it's because I have a lot of fillings. So the thought of biting into ice cream just sends your brain. It's like biting a metal fork.
It's like a zap pretty good.
No.
The thought of that's one of the things that makes me cringe. Is like when people pull forks out between their teeth.
Mm-hmm. Those metal fillings over time,
that
though.
Fork, that fork, one prong touches your filling. It's like a shock. It hurts.
Next time one of those fall out, you just get the non-metal ones at this point.
I think I only have one of those left. Yeah. So
I'm a bit concerned that I'm a bit of a biter. I'm wondering why I liked. I
guess if your teeth aren't sensitive, then why not? Because I feel like people don't bite ice cream because it hurts.
You've never had a filling. It makes sense. You can just chew on the stuff. You could probably chew ice.
They say that
love to bite my.
They say that biters are a bit impulsive. And I do feel like I'm a bit impulsive at times.
Yeah, I agree.
You'll get on a kick on something and dig in.
Yeah. So, all right. I think that's pretty accurate, you guys. I think they...
ice cream says it all.
Hit the nail on the head.
Have a bowl tonight and figure out who you are.
Yep, Team Liquor. Team Liquor.
All right, buddies. Team Liquor.
Team Liquor. Right.
What are you?
We still talking
get a
about
hat.
ice cream?
Are you a licker? Are you a biter? Or are you a nibbler? And again, yes, we're talking about ice cream.
Yeah.
866-445-1059 is the phone number. Also, coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to play a game for your chance at tickets to see 1059 The Brew presents Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace. All right, that is coming up here in less than 5 minutes. Happy Wednesday. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura on The Brew.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Portland's Rock Station, 105.9 The Brew. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. All right, coming up next, we're going to play the 5 and 10 game for tickets to go see 105.9 The Brew presents Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace. They're going to be taking over the Tanner, Drew, and Laura Amphitheater in October.
Yeah.
And that means we need callers 10 and 11 right now. 866-445-1059. We're going to give you a category. You'll have 10 seconds to name 5 things in that category. That's right after Lenny Kravitz on The Brew.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily.
All right, a few more calls and texts before we play our game. We wanted to know, we found out that the way you eat your ice cream can reveal a lot about you. Like if you're a biter, like me, you're fearless, confident, and impulsive. I'm also a licker, though, and so those people also tend to be more methodical, relaxed, and like to enjoy their scoops. And then there's nibblers, which I guess is like Drew, and they're more cautious, gentle, and thoughtful.
I feel like if you're the biting thing is like you either do it or you don't. Like you don't work it in. It's like if you have, and my teeth don't have metal in them anymore, but maybe it's because they used to.
And so you're just used to
I don't want to be shocked.
Well, and I think also along the gum line, even if you don't have fillings, your teeth can still be sensitive.
Like even
sometimes
fruit.
really, really cold stuff can hurt my front tooth here, just the front.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's
if I
what
do
was
bite
gonna
ice
say.
cream, I kind of do it off to the side a little bit.
Oh, okay. A little side saddle.
A little side biting.
I like that.
I was out recently with somebody and we got ice cream and they were chewing it. And I commented on it. I was like, what are you doing?
Can you not?
That's what I chew it. If it's really thick, what are you going to do?
And I
just
think
sit there and suck on it like a Jolly Rancher?
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah, I
That's
do. I
weird.
just sit there and roof it until it's done.
Yeah. It just
chew
melts.
it and eat it.
That's part of my thing.
This text message comes to us from 2396. It says, I like to give her a good old licking. And then, a couple of bites on the side, but I always finish her off with a good, heavy, hard licking.
Okay, get out of here.
Let's talk about the ice cream.
No, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it is borderline, when people eat ice cream, they're borderline having a sexual experience. I mean, the eyes are closed half the time, things are getting weird.
It is like an awkward first date idea.
I guarantee people have heard moaning at Baskin Robbins.
We got to talk back to our iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, Brew Crew. As far as ice cream goes, for the most part, you can ask my wife. I'm a licker.
Okay.
God's sakes.
But I'm the same way as Tanner, though. I will straight up eat it right out of the carton most of the time. It's just easier that way. And then you don't dirty a bowl.
To legitimize
Be the
it.
plastic
That is
spoon,
true.
then you don't dirty a spoon either.
I do it because I'm lazy and drunk.
He grabs the gallon. He's like, I'm brilliant. Skipping steps here. Work smarter, not harder, fellas.
All right, send us a talkback anytime. Just download the iHeartRadio app. Let's play this. The 5 and 10 game. For your shot at tickets to go see 105.9 The Brew presents Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace. They're going to be taking over the Tanner, Drew, and Laura Amphitheater coming up in October. Let's meet our contestant this morning, calling from Dallas. Her name is Michelle. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, y'all.
Y'all, what's happening in Dallas this morning?
A little bit of rain and driving kids to school.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Standard operating procedure.
Well, Dallas,
Yeah.
have you heard us play this game before?
Her name's Michelle.
She's called her Dallas.
Oh, sorry. Michelle, have you heard
Go by Dallas now.
Have you heard us play this game
That's only
before?
at night.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Little dominatrix. All right. Okay. Tell us, Michelle, have you heard us play this game?
Yes, sir.
All right. You don't have to call me sir.
That's very official.
It's all one word. It's not you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you know how to play the game. You've got 10 seconds to name 5 things in the category we give you. Today, Michelle, your category is ice cream. You have 10 seconds to name 5 flavors of ice cream. Your time begins now.
Chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, Rocky Road, mint chocolate chip.
Whoa, look at that.
Whoa.
I didn't have time to get my...
Speed demon.
Yeah, she was quicker than my sound effects button.
I might be an ice cream freak.
Yeah.
She's an ice cream
So
freak.
are you a licker or a biter or a nibbler or what do you do?
I'm a licker all around it.
Yeah.
All around.
Yes.
All right.
The circle licks, yeah.
Circle licks.
People are going to take this clip out of context today on this podcast.
As they should.
All right, Michelle, hang on the phone. We will see you at the concert. You are going, and we'll have another pair of tickets tomorrow. You also have a shot at 1059thebrew.com.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
1059 The Brew, it's Portland's rock station. We just heard, it is official, Phil Knight is out. He will not be purchasing the Blazers.
Womp, womp.
Yeah, he told The Athletic today that 5 years ago, this is a quote from him, 5 years ago when I was a younger man, I had great interest in being part of the Portland Trail Blazers franchise. However, at my current age, I can confirm I no longer have interest.
That's too bad. We were hoping he was going to come in and save the day.
He was. Yeah. I was hoping for a hero.
I mean, 87 though. I
didn't realize he was that old.
It's getting up there.
I did not realize.
The last time this team was sold, it was for $70 million in 1988. It will go on the market between 3.6 and 4+ billion.
Wow.
That is nuts.
Well, we'll keep you posted with any updates. In the meantime, let's get you $1,000.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Yesterday we were talking about Izzy's Pizza on the air.
Oh, yeah.
And like it was a fun place to go. The atmosphere was cool. I don't remember the food being very good, but I do miss chains like that, especially the ones that I loved, like Chili's. I miss Chili's in Portland. I know they still exist elsewhere, but
they might as well be extinct here because we don't have it.
But then we started talking about chains that just don't exist anymore. That like, man, I wish they were still around. Someone mentioned, I think Drew, you mentioned Machismo Mouse. I don't think anybody's wanting that to come back, but like stuff like that, like stuff that used to be here
that is
it's
just
gone. What chains should come back? But boy, we were coming up with a list yesterday. But we want to know from you, like, what do you think we should come back? Now, I don't think Izzy should come back. I don't think it was that good.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
something
it had
like
its time. I think Izzy's is probably done, but you know, a place like a Farrell's. I don't know if you remember a Farrell's.
Yeah, the ice cream place.
Farrell's was on another level. Like for a kid to go into a Farrell's and get a full-blown old school sundae.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like now there's ice cream places, but there isn't like where the banana's sliced down the middle and they're giving you it in the boat and the alarms going off and there's, you know, people working there blowing whistles.
They had like
official.
a 1950s, 1960s vibe.
Yeah, they had like the puffy
The old
arms
school
and
vibe.
the whole deal.
I miss that. I miss that a lot.
It's now they don't do it like that. Now it's like one scoop or two.
Do you remember, maybe, would you bring back Arctic Circle Beefwater Bay?
So it's still around because it's at the coast and it's in Woodburn. We learned a while back, but it's not here. We used to walk to Arctic Circle in
What is
Portland.
Arctic Circle? Is that like a convenience
Burger
store?
and
It's a
ice
burger
cream.
place.
Oh, okay.
It's like a Dairy Queen.
Also home of the
Got it.
Lime Ricky. You guys ever had the Lime Ricky?
I never had that.
have not.
Explain what a lime Ricky is.
It's
So like a
kind of
slushy?
like a lime soda, like a lemonade but with lime.
Oh.
Lime Ricky.
Not really like a lime. It was
Not
its
a
own thing.
limeade?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh.
I just remember being the
Okay.
Lime Ricky. But they Arctic Circle was the first place to have fry sauce instead of just ketchup or whatever. You had your little
I remember
Arctic
that.
Circle fry sauce.
What about Hot Now? Do you remember that place?
Hot Now was
Hot
great because you
Now.
could get a whole sack of food for $1.87.
But it was terrible.
I don't think I ever went to a
Flavorless.
Hot and Now, but I can see the building in my mind.
Yeah, it was just like that. It was, you get a lot of food for a little bit of money, but it wasn't great.
Yeah, I felt like in its day it was Taco Bell, but for burgers. Like I felt like the pricing was the same. It was a very similar model. But
What about Quiznos?
That's exactly what popped into my head because I know they still exist, but man, I
Not
love
here.
it. I love a toasted
They blew
sub.
up big and then they just disappeared.
Yeah, they were big.
yeah.
They were fighting Subway, and then I feel like Subway put a toaster in the place and squashed it.
I don't know, but
Quiznos started toasting first,
No.
then Subway started doing
well,
it.
because Quiznos, their whole thing was toasted.
were
subs,
all
but
about it.
Even
I hated toasted
Even
subs.
after Subway started doing it, Quiznos were the masters.
Quiznos was in the lobby of the coin tower. I worked on the third floor. All of the walls didn't go to the ceiling, so everything was open,
yeah.
right?
Could
And they
you
would burn,
smell
They
that?
would burn bread down there, and then the whole place would just stink like burnt bread.
Oh man,
I used to
All
get
the
that.
time.
I remember I'd go and walk on campus, and inside of a Starbucks was a Quiznos, and I'd get a honey bacon club.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I liked a little toasted sub back in the day, but not
Well,
every day.
One of the only Quiznos I know that still exists is in DIA, the Denver airport, and so every time I'm in that terminal, I have to
You
go
get
and
Quiznos?
get Quiznos. Yeah.
Well, what chain would you bring back if you just had, a gajillion dollars or just a magic wand that could bring a chain back? What would you bring back? 866-445-1059 is the phone number. You can send us a talkback message through our iHeartRadio app or a text on our McLaughlin Chevrolet text line. This one comes from 9082. It says Fuddruckers.
Ooh, yeah. I used to. Mine's my Fuddruckers in my city is now a Zoom Care.
Yeah, Zoom Care. Used to ride our bikes to Washington Square. We would take a hot lap around the mall and then roll into Fuddruckers for a make your own burger and a chocolate malt.
And you had a cheese pump in there.
Yeah.
So you'd get some fries, and your mom wouldn't have to pay extra. You could just walk over and like thunk, hot cheese onto your plate. They don't do it like that anymore.
No, nothing says America like a cheese pump.
3111 says they'd bring back Sizzler.
I miss Sizzler. It was next door to Wonderland, right down the road from here.
Didn't somebody get sick and then they had like shut them all down or something? I remember like a big scandal.
Dude.
That's just the price of doing business. Yeah.
I feel like there's still a Sizzler in Salem because I drove past it and went like, that's still
Whoa.
around?
Dude, it used to be so great. Like they had buffet action.
Oh, yeah. Salad bar, little steak, some shrimps.
Yeah.
Get it.
This one says bring back Lou's Dairy Freeze. I don't remember
I
Lou's
don't know
Dairy
that
Freeze.
one. How about Kenny Rogers Roasters?
Ooh,
71,
delicious.
7128 says there's still a Quiznos in Hazeldale area in Vancouver. 0280 says Lime Rickies were the best. Had an Arctic Circle down the street growing up. I've been to Woodburn and one in rural Idaho. It's not the same food though.
Yeah, it doesn't feel the same.
Quick note on that Hazeldale Quiznos. I think that's a front for maybe some other business. Ain't nobody
really?
ever at that Quiznos.
It's a massage.
What do you think's going on there?
I
people?
don't know. I'm not going to speculate or throw stones. I'm just saying I never see a car there, but it's been there for 17 years.
All right. Oh, here's another one. This is always good when you were stoned on a Saturday night. 9820 says the hometown buffet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There used to be one. There used to be one by Cub Food, or it used to be Cub Foods. Now it's Winco. On 82nd by the Clackamas Town Center. There's one there. I don't know what.
I didn't know it was all gone now. You just bought out by some other buffet.
Well, I know that. Yeah, sometimes they're called Old Town buffets.
Yeah.
But I like going there. You
I've
take a
also
gummy
seen-
and hit up that place.
I've also seen the hometown buffet in the same font, so I think they.
might be-
Is it the same as the Old Country Buffet? Because we
It's
had
the
an
same
Old Country
idea.
Buffet.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one sweaty teenager cutting prime rib or whatever in the corner, or a hot ham, and a lot of bread and soft serve ice cream.
And old school Portlanders out there, in the 80s in St. John's, you had the King's Table, which was a very regal buffet.
I do remember the King's Table.
Oh, we would go there on special occasions, and you just felt like a champion when you were a kid because I can get chocolate milk. I can go back and get 9 chocolate milk.
Let's go to line 1. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. What chain would you bring back?
What chain? I was going to say bringing back the Oregon grinder, but I guess it wasn't a chain.
It's not a chain, but that
we found out there were a couple.
But I don't know that they were like
Yeah.
connected, were they?
I think
Yeah, I
it's
think they were
maybe.
connected
They were a
regionally.
chain?
Like the idea, but then you build out your own
All right,
type of an idea.
I would bring back the Oregon grinder. It was a cool spot. The building's still there. I don't know. I think last I saw it was a bank or something, but
yeah,
There's the Arctic Circle in Newport.
okay.
Yeah, I knew there was
Okay,
one
yeah,
out
but look-
along the coast there, but like they were saying earlier, not necessarily the same. What about hot dog on a stick? What day did they shutter? Because I haven't seen the Rainbow Hat in
I feel like they're
a
still in the
decade.
mall.
No,
Hot
I
dog on
know,
a
but
stick?
I think they were only ever in the mall. But I haven't seen. Well, I guess I
I just
haven't been
haven't
to a
seen
mall
one
food
forever.
court for a minute.
I don't think they survived the mall dip when people just kind of stopped going to the mall for a little
I
while.
feel
Now
like
there's on a research.
I feel like there's one at the Clackamas Town Center. But I'm not
Those
positive.
kids cut lemons all
Oh, yeah.
day long. Like, I don't know how they were selling enough lemonade for all those lemons.
I just couldn't do it. I felt so bad for those kids walking by in their
outfits,
stupid
man.
little hats and the
They,
dumb
were,
little outfits.
they must have been counting the minutes.
Whatever. They knew what they were getting themselves into. When they went to interview at Hot Dog on a Stick, they knew they were going to have to wear those outfits.
I bet it's 6 months max as an employee.
It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. Good morning. Yo, what chain would you bring back? Mm-hmm.
Yellow.
Thank you for that.
Wow. I always thought it would be awesome working at the hot dog on a stick, getting to pound that lemonade. You know,
Yeah, because they're squashing it.
Yeah, it looks like you're blowing up dynamite on a Looney Tunes cartoon.
More of your calls and texts coming up. What chain would you bring back?
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
1, 2, 3.
And now, Brew Sports. Here's Drew.
Well, it is, I wouldn't say written in stone, but it's right out of Phil Knight's mouth. We said it a couple of minutes ago, but it is true. He says he is not going to buy the Trailblazers because of his age. And at 87, I'm not going to hold his feet to the fire on that. I don't know if I would have the energy to be doing that. He's also chasing a national championship with the Oregon Ducks on multiple levels, so that's its own thing all in itself. But it just raises questions about who would be the perfect suitor, and maybe we just don't even know yet. You know, like at some point somebody comes forward. When Steve Ballmer bought the Los Angeles Clippers, nobody thought that the old Microsoft guy that's not Bill Gates, the other guy, would be the one, but he is the energy behind a franchise that completely got turned around and got a brand new arena. So maybe.
Do you think that the owner, whoever it ends up being, is going to be someone we know, or is it just going to be some like mystery buyer?
It's such a good question.
Are we going to know this person's name when they announce it?
I kind of hope that there's a buzz behind him, and I think Portland is so antsy to get an answer when they say it's going to be into next season before we know all the ins and outs of this. It makes me a little bit. I'm bummed that we're not getting the movie style finish. Like, oh, they're selling the team, and it's to da 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 da. We're just gonna have to sit here and wait. It's like you haven't found out who your new stepdad is yet. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. But we'll keep you posted. Doubleheader NBA playoffs tonight on TNT starting at 4 o'clock. Get some. There's your sports.
All right, you've got until 9 o'clock this morning to get this hour's keyword in and maybe pick up $1,000 in cash. You know, payday's tomorrow. Imagine putting another $1,000 on top of that paycheck.
It'd be nice.
And I was listening to Court show the other day, and he made a good point. You know, summer's coming up. And that means you're going to have to find out and figure out what to do with your kids if you don't have family to watch them.
You got to have something so when they go back to school that they can say they did this one thing.
And childcare is expensive. So if you need a little cash for childcare,
oh yeah,
you know, grandma and grandpa, that should be free. But
forgot about that.
Actual childcare.
You're rocked.
Can be a lot. If you need the money, the hour's keyword is green. Log on right now, 1059thebrew.com, and enter the keyword green. And then keep it on your cell phone. We could call you back in minutes with the cash. Good luck. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura on The Brew.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
It's always a bummer when you go to one of your favorite places and you make it a routine. You walk in there maybe every Friday with your family, or maybe you just pop in on a weekday when you're at break or you're on lunch or something. And then one day you show up to that spot and it's closed.
Shuttered.
Womp, womp.
One day you go and there's a door, like a note on the door that says, "Sorry, we're shut down. Thanks for all the years of business, blah, blah, blah."
Mm-hmm.
And that actually happened to me. One of my favorite places to get burritos. It went downhill in the later years, but
You saw a light decline.
it was called the Burrito House in Delta Park.
Oh, yeah. The building now looks like it's out of a video game.
Yeah. It used to be great, and I'd go there in high school and stuff. And one day I drove all the way out there to get a burrito, and there was a note on the door. It said, "We shut down after like 30-something years."
That's very sad.
But dude, those sopapillas were so fantastic. Those little puffy flour
And
pillow
the
tops.
burritos were size of children. They were huge burritos, and you get like $4 or $5 or whatever.
Yeah, well, they had that like family size, the B57 burrito. Remember that? Like it was like it. I don't remember.
Size of a child.
3 feet long at minimum. I mean, it came in like a foil pan.
Yeah.
The good old days. I mean, that area was hustling and bustling.
And it was probably $12.
Take the family over to Smith's Home Furnishings and then hit a burrito house.
So we want to know, what chain would you bring back? It doesn't necessarily need to be like a restaurant. It could be anything. What chain? Like Chuck E. Cheese, those are dying. Do we even have one in Portland?
No, we got one.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
there's one Cedar Mill.
They just remodeled the one over in Vancouver.
It's not the same.
Yeah, they took the animatronics out.
I mean, it used to be a massive square footage, and now like just the footprint's lighter. It's like, I think it's lit better to probably keep the weirdos out, but back in the day there was ambiance.
Yeah, well, listen,
Where's the ball pit?
You don't need a ton of square footage to convert $137 in winning tickets into $4 worth of toys to take home for your children.
Biggest racket in all of
got
dinner.
Some talkback messages to play. What chain would you bring back?
Hey, Brew Crew. I'd love to see Spunky's Burger. Used to be over there by Mall 205.
Yeah.
Or how about a Hot and Now? That's a poor kid's dream right there. 23-cent cheeseburgers.
Spunky's was good. I love that place. Let's go to line one. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. Is this Josh, or who is this?
This is Waylon.
Sorry.
What's up, Waylon?
Josh, Waylon, whatever.
Close enough. What's going on, guys?
Hey, man, what chain would you bring back if you just had all the money in the world or some sort of magical wand?
The one place that was like, I mean, there's still a couple of them left, but nowhere like in the metro. There used to be one in Hollywood, one in Oregon City, one on 82nd. It's Skipper's.
Yeah, dude.
It
We've
was
gotten
like
a lot of
fish.
It was like a fast food joint, but for fish. But we've gotten so many text messages from people saying Skipper's this morning.
Because the one in Hollywood, where I grew up in Northeast, it was a Skipper's, and then one day the tilted sign turned to a Long John Silver's.
I was gonna say,
and that was the beginning of the end. Like now that's somewhere still, but not anymore out there.
No, I think there's one like out in the Dalles now or something, and there's some up in Washington. But like that was the family spot. Every Sunday, all of the extended family, we all got together, and that's where we had dinner every week.
Yeah,
right at the one in Oregon City, and so that's a lot of memories in a place like that.
Yeah,
Put on your good pants. We're going to Skipper's.
So, are there any Long John Silvers around either?
Yeah, I think
those
are
all
still
gone
going.
too. Okay.
Not
here.
in our hood.
There's one up in Vancouver, isn't there?
I think
there's one in Vancouver.
A lot of those things too, are regional. Right? I remember in Texas, when I lived down there, there's a Long John Silver's every other 20 blocks. I feel like they're all over the place.
Do you think it's partially because we know what the coast is? And we
possibly
we have fresh fish.
I think that's a very good point. The closer you are to the sea, why do you need places like that?
Yeah.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it, Waylon. Let's go to line two. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. What chain would you bring back?
It's not a chain, but a steak burger that was out in Hazeldale over in Washington. There,
steak
burger. They had like a little miniature golf. Yeah, steak burger. Yeah, they had a miniature golf course there.
It was the spot. They do have a food truck, so you can catch them out and about. But yes, going to Steak Burger was legit.
Thanks, bro. All right, we got some more talkback messages coming in through our McLaughlin the iHeartRadio app, rather.
Morning, Brew Crew. One chain that I would love to see more of, because I'm pretty sure there's only a few left, would be Taco John's. If anybody ever had that, they had an awesome special called the 6-pack and a pound. 6 tacos, either crunchy or soft, and then you get your pound of potato olays, as they call them. The place was fire.
There's 2 for me. Boston Market, and sweet tomatoes.
Okay,
Hey, morning, guys.
We got a lot of talkbacks from people, text messages from people saying both those two, sweet tomatoes and Boston Market.
Sweet Tomatoes was a salad bar restaurant.
Interesting.
Now it's an IHOP.
Interesting business
The one
model.
by my house.
Yeah.
It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. Let's go to line one. What chain would you bring back if you just had the power?
Tanner and Drew, my homies.
What up?
If I can bring back one, I'd bring back Izzy's. Izzy's.
That's what got us talking about this
And a
yesterday.
whole lot more.
Izzy's. Come on, the pizza wasn't good though.
We started the conversation by saying maybe we don't necessarily need to bring that
we
back.
went there all the time as a kid, but dude, it wasn't good pizza, right?
She's rolling over in her grave right now.
Maybe.
Yeah, we didn't go there for the pizza. I went there for the hot moms and the salad bar.
All right, fair enough.
Salad bar was. I said this before. The salad bar was on point.
He went there for the so much more.
They had they had the original bacon bits. They had Bacos. They had ham squares. An entire meat
I'm
section.
sure the salad bar was good, but their pizza was trash.
And then it branched out, and then you had those potatoes, JoJo style potatoes, and then the fried chicken. The Izzy's was.
They focused on too much stuff. That was a
JoJo's
problem.
are nobody's favorite form of potato. I just want to say that. Maybe that's a controversial opinion.
I agree with you.
Who
It's too
likes
much potato.
JoJo?
My second one. Wait, what about hometown buffet?
Yeah, we got that one.
Yeah,
we got that one.
We're discussing JoJo's now.
Yeah, too much potato.
If it's just about how much potatoes in that wedge. Smaller JoJo, more like a fry, not too bad. Bigger JoJo,
This is a good one that someone suggested, and this isn't a restaurant. They wish they would bring back Toys R Us.
Oh, sure.
I think they were talking about it.
It's a kiosk inside Macy's.
Yeah.
So they
the
got
brand.
they got the brand and the rights. So they'll put a corner, a Toys R Us corner.
I thought I heard there was some brick and mortars going up in Canada, but nothing that I've heard of here. But yes, there's not really a toy store period to go to these days.
Yeah, remember KB Toys? Those are
that
dope in
was
the
like
mall.
a
Really around.
mall
You know
store.
what's the least fun thing to do with kids is stand in toy stores. Because all they do is beg for things. Go over to a Fred Meyer and stand in the toy section and see if you hit the bliss button.
I get it, but some of my best memories
Yeah,
just
and
going
me
to the
too,
mall
and
and
me
hanging
too.
out in the toy store.
And if you look at my kids' rooms, they've won these battles. But at the same time, I can see why my parents, we went in Toys R Us 3 times ever. And I see why.
And also, it's pretty expensive, wasn't it?
Because we couldn't afford what I was begging for.
Most of the time, I remember going to Toys R Us and walking out with nothing.
Yeah,
I think
same.
it was just
I don't ever
remember.
remember stopping at the register.
Just
Not a
remember
single
going,
time,
but
and I'm
no.
not kidding.
Let's go to line 3. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. What is a chain you'd bring back?
So I would not chain. I would bring back on the Hollywood district. I would bring back Ponchos, Poor Richards, and the Pagoda.
A few people have mentioned Little Richards today too, so that's another one on the list.
Little Richard?
Little Richards.
And Poor Richards. And
No,
there were
poor-
only
Poor
Richard.
Richard.
Did I say?
Little Richards is an entirely different place.
It's a late night spot.
Thank you.
One place that had 2 locations, an east and a west side, both sides of the river, and it will be missed forever, is Stannich's.
Oh, yeah.
Stannich's, the world famous burger was, oh my God, it was on a level. It'll be missed.
Here's another one that people are not mentioning, and I thought about this earlier, but it just kind of slipped my mind. Fry's Electronics.
Oh, yeah.
But
Or
I mean,
Incredible Universe.
Incredible
Yeah.
Universe.
You'd go there and you could just play with stuff.
But there's it's so crazy though how many, if you think about it, how many of those stores we had. We had Radio Shack on a smaller level, but then you had Media Play, you had Circuit City, you had Fry's, you
Yeah.
had Best Buy. It's
the internet killed it
not
all.
all can survive.
Incredible Universe, the building along I-5 is straight up Walking Dead stuff. It's The Last of Us.
Where is it? Because I don't know.
It's on the. It's a
Wilsonville, isn't it?
giant footprint in the middle of Wilsonville, and it is. I mean, it's got plants growing through it.
We want to know what chain you'd bring back. 7128 says, I would bring back Wiener Schnitzel. They're in California, but not here.
Yeah, we don't have the Veen there.
This guy says the original Taco House, Joe's Crab Shack.
Are there no Joe's Crab Shacks left?
Not around here. And I don't know. Maybe I'm on the other side of that. I always felt like Joe's was a little mid. You went there and it was always meh.
It was one of those
And it
places
had
where it was
crab?
an experience. People
wear
would
the
come out and
bib?
sing and dance, and it was a whole thing.
Oh,
Yeah, so it wasn't all about the food. It was about the vibe.
Yeah.
The vibe.
ambiance.
Did you guys have a Rax here?
No.
Rax?
We had a
Rax is-
Nordstrom rack.
Nah, not the same. It's like RAX was how they spelled it. It was roast beef. So it was like
We
a
have
knockoff Arby's. Yeah, but it was like a mom and pop old school roast beef.
We
place.
got more talkbacks here.
Hey, morning, guys. One of the things I'd bring back, being an old Portland guy, is North's Chuck Wagon. Kind of an old school buffet. Don't really like buffets, but as a kid, you could go in there and pile it up. There were a couple of them around. Thanks, you guys rock.
Man, of all the places I'd bring back, it would probably be all of the movie stores. Suncoast Video, Hollywood Video, Blockbuster, even Redbox was fun to go to and just, physically have something to grab and bring back if you wanted to for the night. Something to take the kids out to like that. You don't really see many Funko Lands. That was like before GameStop, Electronics Boutique, stuff like that.
More of your calls and texts coming up here in just a few minutes. Yeah, I was going to say Wonderland, but there are still a couple of them around.
But
so
really not in the capacity you wanted in the
back
good
in the
old
day,
days.
they were all over, right?
And at least there's still a movie madness.
If our moms could drop us off and leave us for 3 hours in the free game section one more time, I would take it.
More of your calls and texts coming up. What chain would you bring back?
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, Isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Portland's Rock Station. 105.9 The Brew. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. Got some talkbacks coming in through our iHeartRadio app. Of course, you can send us one anytime. Just download it for your cell phone.
What's up, Brew Crew? A little drunk. Been up all night drinking.
Oh, my God.
Love you guys.
Bro sent that at 8:35 this morning.
It is a Wednesday morning.
Get it. Goals right there.
Wow. He's probably passed out already.
He's probably taking the best nap.
We got more talkbacks.
I'm sorry you lost your burrito place, but there's a place called King Torta, and it's in North Plains. I think that would make a good replacement. Unfortunately, it's on the opposite end of town, but they are the bomb.
I've heard about that place.
Somebody
King
else
Torta.
suggested that earlier in the show.
Another talkback through the app.
We go in Sizzler. We go in Sizzler. Bring the Sizzler back, y'all.
That's what he'd want?
Yeah, it was good times.
Another talkback.
Hey, this is Ethan Turner from Newburgh. I used to live in Hillsborough, and I think there's a Long John's and a AMW over there by Cornelius Pass Road in Beaverton.
They're always in weird places.
Yeah, oftentimes they're together, which
There
is
is
weird.
an A&W in every small town on the way to camping in the state. So, like, if you're ever on your way to whatever your campground is, the last one with Wi-Fi or with cell service usually has an A&W.
Are those like old-timey A&Ws? Because when I was a kid, we had an A&W in park outside, and you'd order like at a Sonic out in your car, and then they'd come out on roller skates.
I don't know if
They'd
they still skate or not, but they definitely have the old school look.
Let's go to line one. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. Good morning.
Good morning, Brew Crew.
What up?
Hey, I got one here for you. G.I. Joe's.
Yeah, one
Like
day.
the Army surplus store?
No, G.I. Joe's was
Like a
Dick's
sporting goods store.
goods,
Yeah.
but
Oh.
with guns and some other items, more of the camping direction.
I mean, that's where I'd go to get my concert tickets.
Yeah,
Because the Ticketmasters are always
Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
But that
Tanner,
also.
do you remember Eastport Plaza one there? And then back in the day, they used to sell video games there
That's
on the front counter there.
I bought my first concert ticket from that exact
the one by
location.
Burrito House?
The one the one that he's talking about, Eastport Plaza. It used to be there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I bought my first concert ticket for $9.50.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, that's classic, man. Good memories. I grew up Stomping Grounds, Tower Records, the little video arcade place there.
Yeah, it was great, dude.
Great time, great memories. So
G.I.
appreciate it,
Joe's.
guys, you guys have a great day.
Thanks, brother.
They used to have, and you remember this for sure, that there would, whenever a huge show was coming up or something people were really wanting, you'd have probably 10, 15, maybe 20 people camped out on the side of the building there waiting for Ticketmaster to open.
Did that on a regular basis in high school.
That's the only way you'd get tickets.
Yeah, there was no like online queue. It was get your sweet cheeks out here and wait.
Honestly, I wish they would still do that. Like,
Let
bring
us
that
grind
back.
for it. Like, have a certain number of tickets.
It was so
that
much
you
Because that means real fans are going to be there. Not
Yeah, get rid of the
rich-
bots.
Yeah.
Have people do it.
And then
not
the
a scalper.
And then the cops would show up and pour your beer out every time.
All right, your chance to win $1,000 in the Cash Squatch happens right now.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Portland's rock station, 105.9 The Brew. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. I saw that ESPN's got a new streaming app they're about to launch.
Oh, wow. Another one? Cool. Just what we needed.
Which is weird because there's already ESPN Plus, which I subscribe to, and then ESPN Insider, which I subscribe to. So what is this?
ESPN's new streaming service will launch in the fall, providing access to a vast library of sports rights for viewers without traditional cable or satellite subscriptions.
Oh, that's actually pretty good because a lot of times if you try to hit the watch live, it'll ask you for your provider, and even some of your providers will block you anyway.
That's so annoying.
It really is.
Well, Jimmy Pitaro, the chairman of Disney's sports division, believes the new service will redefine the business. The service will be offered as a standalone option and as a part of a bundle with other Disney-owned services like Hulu and Disney+.
This is good news.
And there will be two pricing options available: an unlimited plan with all ESPN networks and ABC broadcast for about $30 a month. $29.99
a month, bro.
And a select plan with a current ESPN Plus service. A full bundle of streaming services, including ESPN, Hulu, and Disney Plus, will be available for $35.99 per month, with an initial offer of $29.99 per month.
Oh, so that's not so bad if I get them all. At first, I'm like, I thought it was just going to be ESPN for that. So $35 for all of them.
Still too much money.
Still, because you can get all that for...
But if you didn't have cable, and a lot of people, the last thing that they need is sports. That's the thing. It's
so
the
like if
linchpin.
you only watch sports,
or if it's the last thing you need, like you've got movies on Netflix and HBO, but you don't. Cable networks control sports.
I can see that being decent, but I still think the price is a bit high. But I can see that being really helpful for people. But
if you like Hulu, you love Disney.
$35.
Well, because you get you pay $35 for that. You pay $20 for Netflix. You pay $20 for Max. It's just like
the service is
it's
cool.
Ridiculous.
The price is crazy.
Yeah. It's all gotten out of hand.
It doesn't save you money to dump cable anymore. You know what I mean?
Really,
it's just like,
but they're forcing people to choose.
Yeah.
Like one or the other.
Well, there it is. ESPN's new streaming service is coming in the fall, so hopefully
We'll see how that goes.
If you want it, hopefully you got the cash. If you need a little extra cash for the app or whatever you need it for, we're going to give you this hour's keyword again here in just a few minutes. $1,000 could be yours, and all you got to do is log onto a website and enter it in to win. I mean, it's really easy. We'll give you the keyword coming up right after Queen. Happy Wednesday. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura on The Brew.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
All right, the keyword this hour for your chance to win $1,000 from the Cash Squatch is grand. You've got until 10 o'clock to get this hour's keyword in, but don't waste any time. It'll take you less than 30 seconds, and you can do this from your cell phone or your desktop. 1059thebrew.com is a website. Enter the keyword grand, and then after that, just keep an eye on your cell phone. We could call you back with the cash. So if you see a restricted number, or a little, a strange number, pick it up. It could be us. That's grand to 1059thebrew.com. Good luck.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Portland's Rock Station, 105.9 The Brew. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. We're going to check some of your talkback messages here in a few minutes. Going to see what people are saying in the world.
Yeah. Popping.
Mm-hmm. I'm just sitting here thinking about this Blazer deal, or the sale, possibly, of the Portland Trail Blazers. It will happen, just to who? We're hoping it's to somebody that cares about the team, wants to, like I was watching the news last night, and they were saying, they were asking people who they want. And they go, they want somebody who was like Paul Allen, who'd be at the games, sitting there enjoying the games, that are in it.
A fan.
They're a fan.
Yeah.
And so I think that is, that's what I'd like to see. But also on the table is the chance of them leaving, which would be devastating to, I think, the city. Laura and I were talking about it this morning. I think it would be such, I feel like the beginning of the end.
I think
it's a backbreaker.
It's a blow to morale in the city. I mean, it just would be a bad look.
It would dust out that entire area. I mean, honestly, if the end of days factor of it is Moda Center wouldn't be able to sustain. It would become a ghost town, which it already is when there isn't stuff going on.
That area is already,
It would become desolate, and then what are you going to do? Floor an arena to fix the problem? It cannot happen.
Turning it into condos.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Sweet. And
it's now a food cart hut.
Food cart village right here at Moda.
I hope that doesn't happen. They did say it was very unlikely that that's going to happen. But then we read this morning that Phil Knight is officially out.
That hurts.
He will not be purchasing the Blazers.
He wasn't going to pay $4 billion anyway.
Well, we don't know that for sure. If he knew that, I mean, now maybe she silently offered him that number before when she turned down the $2 billion. He has $30 billion. His age is paramount.
Yeah.
And I believe him at his word when he said, hey, I'm 87. When he heard 87 in here today, almost everyone went, I get that. I can't do that at 87.
Because how long until he's got to go, until we do all this over again?
Exactly.
If Phil Knight buys it at 87 years old.
And then we find ourselves in a holding pattern again. He may be doing us a favor by saying, not me.
But, the idea at first would have been great.
I would have loved Nike Center.
When I type in Portland Trail Blazers in the news section on Google just to see the headlines that come up, Phil Knight out, officially out. He said it from his own mouth. Then this says the Trailblazers sale won't affect the Seattle Seahawks or the Sounders.
Which is good for them for now, but it's a for now because in the will, the directive says that they all go and philanthropy is the target. So it's not today, but Seattle's they just got the date pushed back.
Now, the Portland Tribune posted 6 names of potential buyers. They posted 6 names. Their number 1 name was Phil Knight, so he's out.
Yeah, he's out.
Would you like to hear the other names on the list of potential buyers according to the Portland Tribune?
Sure.
All right, so number 6 on the list is Tim Boyle and or Travis Boersma. I'm not sure if I'm saying that name right.
Travis Boersma is Dutch Bros.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, Oregon is home to 2 other billionaires in the Columbia Sportswear, President, CEO Tim Boyle, and Dutch Bros co-founder Travis Boersma.
Which would be incredible.
The Dutch Bros Arena.
Bros Center, yeah. Oh, my God.
And, we've got family friends in that family, and if they had that, I mean, God.
But also the Columbia Center would sound cool.
That does sound good.
I don't know.
What if it the Dutch Bros Center and everybody is painfully nice? You're like, hey, we'd love your ticket. Oh my God, sweet hat!
And then everybody leaves. Everybody leaves with diabetes.
Where'd you get that sweet hat?
Yeah.
Number 5 on the list of potential buyers for the Blazers, Mackenzie Scott. That is, I believe, the co-founder of Amazon and ex-wife of Jeff Bezos.
Okay, I was going to say. And she's got, we forget about her, but she's also got a ton of cash.
And she seemed, I watched an interview with her just the other day, and she seemed really put together. She seemed like a decent human being. I mean, she's still a billionaire, so take that with a grain of salt. But
what if she got a team and then Bezos gets the expansion team in Seattle? Talk about bitter exes dispute the battle.
Now, she's worth $27.3 billion, so she's got the money.
She's almost in Phil Knight zone.
Mackenzie Scott, potential buyer for the Blazers. Number 4 on the list, according to the Portland Tribune, is Larry Ellison, the co-founder of Oracle, is estimated to be worth the 4th wealthiest person in the world, apparently.
How is he in the running?
Because he can.
His attempts to buy a professional sports team 3 times in the past have failed.
Oh, so he's seasoned at this.
So he's the 4th richest person in the world, and he still didn't win the bid.
So that gives you a little hope that the NBA controls who becomes an owner.
Yeah.
And so if Adam Silver gets his way of not moving the team, that plays well for the Northwest. Well, actually, let's not just say the Northwest. Portland, Vancouver area.
Number 3 on the list of potential buyers for the Blazers, Dan Friedkin and the Friedkin Group. If I'm saying that name.
Who are the Friedkin?
Friedkin? I don't know. Friedkin.
I'd love to have lunch at their place.
4 finalists for the Boston Celtics sale before the group led by, I can't say half these things. Chisholm?
I don't know.
Chisholm.
Sounds good to me.
Anyway, they won that bid.
Well, and that was $7 billion. So if you're going to get a team, if you're going to get a team for 3.7 less,
yeah, that's a deal.
Now it's not the Celtics, which are a brand.
Right.
Number 2 on the list, which basically is number 1 now since Phil Knight is no longer in the running, Jeff Bezos. At number 2 for a potential buyer.
Mackenzie or Jeff? Who's it going to be?
I'd rather be Mackenzie.
Get me too.
If it was, Jeff is the one that frightens me because he's building a city across from Seattle. I mean, so if it goes to Seattle, that makes sense. It doesn't make sense for him to have a Portland team. His wife, who wants away from the situation, ex-wife, that makes more sense to me, believe it or not.
And maybe a bit of a competitor in terms of jersey sales, and because we're kind of in the same market.
But I also feel like I have more trust in Mackenzie just because, at least I've heard that she's just like a nicer human being and a little less cutthroat. So I feel like there's more. I feel like she'd care more about the team and about the community than perhaps Jeff Bezos would.
I see.
He's a major philanthropist, too, though. I mean, Bezos is a pretty strong...
Yeah, but he's also sending penis rockets up in his face for no good reason.
And the most insufferable people on them, too.
Yeah.
All right, who do you think should own the Blazers? Maybe some we didn't mention? 866-445-1059 is the phone number. You can also shoot us a text message on our McLaughlin Chevrolet text line at 98197. We'll check those here in just a few minutes. Happy Wednesday. We are commercial free. 1059 The Brew, Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
So we all know concert tickets are way too expensive. The price of tickets are too damn high.
True.
Nuts.
It's crazy. The fees on top of the fees. I did see yesterday, Ticketmaster will now start posting the actual price of the tickets the moment you start shopping. So, sometimes you see the price of the ticket during checkout. It'd go up another $75, $100
Yeah,
because
because
of fees.
of all the fees, yeah.
Well, they're going to tell you what the price is, full price, right from the get-go. It's still going to be a lot, but at least you'll know.
Yeah, you can skip the whole part where you're delusional about your budget. It's like, oh, nice little 200 level. I'm going to go about 90 degrees to the stage. No, actually, you're heading up to the threes, bud, and you're going to dig into the back wall.
Ticketmaster's also cracking down on bots, so hopefully they get a hold of that, because that's the worst thing is all these people buying the tickets up and then they go for more on a second-hand site.
I feel like they've said that before, though, and I don't
probably always say
know
that.
if I
But
buy
they're probably trying, and then the bot gets smarter.
Yeah.
And then they try again, and then it's just like war, a little cyber war.
A vicious cycle.
Also, this just came out yesterday. There was an eye-opening analysis by Giga Calculator, and they reveal how much people are paying per live song. So let's say you go see an artist, you pay a couple $100s for tickets. How much is that for each song?
All right.
Oh.
That's interesting.
And it's kind of crazy how expensive these things are. Like Lana Del Rey leads the priciest concert performer list here at $16.02 per song.
Okay. So she's obviously not performing that long, because the longer the set, the less you're paying per song.
Yeah, you get a little discount.
Oasis generates the most revenue per song, about $858,000, when nightly earnings of $17.16 million across the reunion tour shows.
So yeah, they're making so much money that the cash rolling in per song is in the hundreds of thousands.
That's
of dollars.
wild.
It's nuts.
Budget-conscious fans get the best value from Ed Sheeran at just 91 cents per minute, and Usher at $3.76 per song.
Interesting.
It's a weird breakdown, because an Ed Sheeran ticket is still extremely expensive. Is it that he just goes on and on and on?
Yeah, maybe he plays for a couple of hours, and I don't know.
Probably.
Now, I do have a list of these bands, so I can give you some rock. I have a lot of pop stars and things like that, but I have some rock bands too. Like, for example, Green Day. All right, here, let's go with AC/DC first. AC/DC, they'll play 21 songs live.
All right.
All right. AC/DC will play 21 songs live. Tickets are about $132 a piece. The average, let's see here.
I feel like so many of us buy the ticket at a higher clip.
You're paying about you're $9.21 per AC/DC song. For Metallica, they play 17 songs, average about $155 a ticket. You are paying about $9.16 per song.
Wow. But I mean, with AC/DC, you're getting what, a 3, 4, 5 minute song. I bet Metallica, they play like 8, 9 minute songs.
I think that's why they only play 17 compared to AC/DC's 21.
You're getting way more bang for your buck on that given song. So yeah, that stat's a little skewed.
Green Day have shorter songs. They play 33 songs live.
Whoa.
The show lasts for about an hour and 37 minutes, and the ticket prices are about $174 a piece. They're charging you about $5.29 per song at a Green Day concert.
That is insane. $171. Get out of town.
And that's average. If it's your band, you're paying more than that.
I don't know
that's
how
just
anyone.
the average.
How does anyone afford to go to concerts?
I think they go into debt.
Crazy.
They're like, well, it's gonna take a little bit to pay this off.
It's the same idea with Disneyland. You go
for an experience.
You're trading debt for experience.
Yeah. Well, there it is. Lana Del Rey, $16.02 per song at her concert.
That's good. I'll listen to my CD in the car. That's fine.
Yeah, like I don't even know any Lana Del Rey songs.
How about I
What the hell
just
does she
skip
do?
her show outright?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Anyway, if you need some cash for concert tickets,
you're gonna need it,
because clearly they're out there.
Goodness sakes.
This hour's keyword is grand. You've got about 19 minutes to get the keyword in. 1059thebrew.com is a website. Enter the keyword grand to score the cash.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Now, what's trending?
All right, there's a lot of good stuff on the website. We just watched the first full-length trailer for the Superman movie that James Gunn is directing.
It looks fun.
I think it looked great. Yeah, I don't like Superman. I think he's kind of like just a lame character.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing that he can do everything.
Yeah.
Just some random dude who wears his underpants outside of his
and he's like,
spandex.
he's a god. He can do everything. He's got like one weakness, which is kryptonite. And it's like, I just didn't, but this movie looks so good.
What's the name of the dog?
Crypto.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'm going to go see it.
Yeah, I'm going to go see
the
it
cute dog.
in the theaters. James Gunn, it looks like a James Gunn film. You know, he did all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
I can see how it would be fun to see in like IMAX or something.
Yeah. He probably shot it with some IMAX cameras too. So the trailer will be online in just a second. It looks great. 1059thebrew.com. Also, the trailer for Nobody 2 just came out. The first Nobody.
I didn't know there was a Nobody 1.
Yeah, it stars what's his name from Better Call Saul.
Bob Odenkirk.
Bob Odenkirk.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's kind of like he's just like nobody. He's just like a normal guy. But what you find out in the first movie is that he's got a checkered past, like John Wick.
Oh, that's cool.
Like an assassin, kind of like a badass. And,
Interesting.
And yeah, he takes care of business in the second trailer.
Man,
same thing.
This is the second movie recently that has come out, and I'm like, I didn't even know there was a first one.
The first one was good.
The Accountant movie, I was like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
and now there's a second one.
The first Nobody is good because it's kind of low budget. It's just about some guy who just starts kicking ass.
He's a
and
nobody.
he's so average that for him to crush, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. All those trailers will be online here in just a few minutes at 1059thebrew.com. That's where you can hear our Donkey Show podcast as well. It's the show after the show. Yesterday, we were doing the Donkey Show, and right in the middle of it is when we found out that the Blazers went up for sale. Mm-hmm. And you can hear our reaction in real time because we're just like, what? Mm-hmm. Is this like we're reading it to make sure it's not fake?
Is this real life?
Yeah, pretty crazy. We may look back and that'll be a pivotal moment in the history of that franchise.
Yeah, we'll keep you posted with any updates. But as of right now, it's just Phil Knight's out. Blazers are up for sale.
Speculation about who might be buying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of that for now. It's going to be like people predicting the GTA trailers. It's just, right now it's hearsay.
Is there a deadline? Because somebody, first they texted, they said they can't sell till 2030. And then they were like, no, they can't move.
They can't move
until
until
2030. But is there a deadline to sell the Blazers? Like, do they have a timeline of when the sale's going to be complete?
Just, they said into next season. So probably take bids for a while, weigh it out.
They said that these things can take a year to 2 years.
Because you got to create the exit plan and the entry plan for the new management. So, yeah, a lot to be sorted out. Let's just hope it stays right here in Portland.
We'll have more updates online at 1059thebrew.com. Coming up next, another keyword for your chance to win $1,000 from the Cash Squatch. As soon as you hear that keyword, you got to log on to 1059thebrew.com and then enter it in. After that, just keep an eye on your cell phone because we could call you back with the cash. So if you see a restricted number on your phone or just a weird number, pick it up. Another keyword coming up after Zeppelin. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura on The Brew. Bye.